So today we're going to talk about scrap wood and more importantly what you can do with that scrap wood. Now here I already have some scrap wood. Let's play a game. Let's drink a shot every time I say scrap wood. So I actually had, okay, I have to be honest. I had much more than this, but I used it for the project of this video. The project is right over there. It's halfway done, but then I realized that my audio was like completely off. So I'm re-recording this part. But anyway, scrap wood plus I bought myself these bags of wood which were kind of like advertised at like €1 for a fireplace, but it turns out there's some really nice wood here, some really nice grains, and I thought to myself, I'm going to buy these. I'm going to buy a few more and see what I can do with them. In fact, this week I did a project, actually last week I did a project for my daughter's door, and that is to put a sign like Kate's room, and it turned out absolutely awesome. I stuck a bunch of wood together on the end grain, and then I CNC'd the inlay, and then I poured resin inside, and it turned out absolutely amazing. So I figured I'll show you the process of how I did that because I got a lot of requests, but today we're going to do it a bit differently. Today we're going to use plywood. I have a lot of scraps of plywood because I did this bench, I have another bench, and then this bench, and then there are other things that I did. And I'm left with a lot of these bits and also this, which was much bigger, but I cut it for the project. Yeah. So anyway, plywood, while relatively simple, actually does have a really nice pattern inside if you know how to, let's call it, exploit it. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to use plywood to make ourselves a sign for the upcoming coffee station, which I'm going to be doing upstairs. So let's get to it. This episode is sponsored by Skillshare. More on that later. Now what I did here is I had plywood in 25mm thickness and also 18mm thickness. And since there's a bit of a difference in color, just very slight, I don't know if it's because the plywood was thinner, so the blade had a different effect of heat and anything, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm just going to put them like this in this pattern. Because if it does turn out that they're different colors, this is going to look even more awesome. Now what I want to do is do these in a chevron kind of pattern, possibly even more elaborate. But for those of you wondering, a chevron is kind of like that. So what I want to do is I'm going to glue these together, but I want to glue them at an angle. And that is why you can never have enough clamps. That is worthy of a Saw movie, actually.
Do you want to play a game?
Let's play a game. Quite happy with the way the beading is everywhere, seems fine. But now I need to let it dry up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for about half an hour until the glue starts solidifying a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is remove these two braces over here, which keeps it from buckling. Clean up the extra beads of glue from top and bottom, and then put them back on again, so when it completely dries they won't be as hard to get out. Right, it's been 24 hours and it's time to get these clamps off. Also, I apologize if my microphone was a bit off yesterday. I figured it out today, so it should be okay now, I hope. Let's see. Here's where the fun stuff begins. So this is what we cut, and what you do is, if you do this, you get your chevron pattern, and it looks absolutely amazing. Now, there are other things you can possibly do with this, like for example, you can do this kind of pattern. Like a chevron, then lines, and yeah, you can do all kinds of awesome patterns with just simple plywood. But for this project, we're just going to stick with chevron style patterns, and we'll take it from there. What I need to do now is glue a few more of these, and obviously once again wait until it dries so we can start CNCing our coffee sign. Now, since we have 24 hours to wait while that dries, well, we're going to see what we're going to actually carve on it. So we're going to go upstairs into the office and design something quickly on Procreate, which is the perfect segue for this episode's sponsor. As you probably know by now, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes to fuel your creativity. Now, in my case, This time around, I delved into Procreate in order to learn how to illustrate and sketch. But first, I started off by watching the Intro to Procreate class by Brooke Glazer. It's extremely insightful and a very good beginner class to understand all the features that Procreate has. This was enough to get me going, as I initially just felt a bit lost, and even though I can draw on paper, using an app like Procreate can be quite overwhelming. Now, however, it wasn't long till I went from doodling just for the sake of using the app to creating much more beautiful art pieces. Now currently I am going through a class in order to learn how to make animations, which I can eventually start using on the channel. Obviously there are tons of other classes on Skillshare covering all sorts of topics. My wife in fact has now started a calligraphy class herself, which she has been wanting to start for ages. If you feel like trying your hand at a new skill, Skillshare have made it much easier for you. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on the link in the video description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. So go ahead and try it out. Thank you, Skillshare. So we'll start off with a bit of a very quick sketch. Just want to do a cup and a saucer. That's basically it. And on the side here, we'll do like, you know, the coffee time, or we'll do something a bit more creative. Get some ideas off the internet. So now that I have that, I'm just gonna go add another layer. Okay, I do believe I like that. I actually like that a lot. So that's kind of the only sketch that I want for the coffee cup. I want something subtle, something that represents coffee, which is a nice hot cup of coffee. And then we'll do some text on the side. So all I need to do is just save that, put it on my computer, take it into Vectric, take the outlines out and just show it how to carve it. Okay, it's been 24 hours. This thing is completely dry. I have had a bit too much coffee, so I'm a bit hyped up at the moment. So what we're gonna do today is just obviously take all these clamps off, clean up the surface and the bottom, put it through the planer, and then just throw it on the CNC to carve our sign. So let's get to it. That was a lot more work than I anticipated, and I need to start measuring the amount of resin I use. So yeah, that was a lot of work, but I've managed, and now it's drying. You don't get to see it just yet. I mean, you've waited this, if you've made it this far through the video, just wait another 30-45 seconds. I'm just gonna go to bed, because tomorrow it's the final touches, which is cutting it to size, polishing it one last time, and then putting some lacquer or clear coat over the wood, and just finishing touches. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's been 24 hours, resin has set, and this is looking awesome. So come take a look. The effect is absolutely brilliant. I used bronze glitter for the resin, and it just looks like crema from coffee. It looks absolutely awesome. Now, if you notice, there's a bit of an indentation, and that was done on purpose because I don't want to have this like completely flat. What I want is that bit of indentation because, first of all, it turns out perfect finish, like perfect mirror finish right out. As you can see over there, reflection. It looks absolutely perfect. Apart from that, I still want to clean the edges, like for example, these bits here, I want to sand it down very lightly. And then finally, what we'll do is I'll put some satin varnish on, just wipe it down. I still need to cut it to size and then do sort of like a bit of edging. But yeah, let's get to it. Voila, we have a sign. This turned out absolutely amazing. I'm extremely happy with it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, just to point out, probably you've already commented, as someone else did on Twitter, apparently this particular type of plywood playing around with is also something a guy called Michael Elm is very good at on YouTube. He was pointed out to me, and he does some amazing designs. I had absolutely no idea, so I wasn't trying to copy. I thought that was like, yay, an original idea, but no, it's not. But anyway, this turned out absolutely great. I love it, and apart from this being mine, my own coffee sign, I'll also be using this in my catalog for my business to show people what can be commissioned, because ultimately, to be completely honest, while this took 3 days to do, it was mostly waiting time for the glue to dry and the resin. But all in all, this probably only cost me like a couple of bucks to do in resin and varnish. Everything else was just, you know, scrap wood, which you can get. By the way, if you were playing the drinking game, I've said scrap wood 4 times, I think. So you need to take 4 shots. But that is it for today, guys. Make sure to subscribe, because next episode is going to be absolutely awesome. And even the episode after that, and the episode after that. And yeah, all of them are going to be awesome. And ring the bell for notification. Make sure you get notified whenever these awesome projects come up. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me and allowing me to do these amazing things. And as always, happy making, guys.